Okay, the next step, we're going to take a little bit of an advanced detour here, and we're going to use a little multi-body work in SOLIDWORKS. We have another boss that we want to create, and it goes in this area, but we don't really have any way for it to connect to the rest of the model at this point. So let's locate the boss. First thing, I know it needs to be perpendicular to this face, so I'm going to open a sketch on that face. Next, I need to have it up here, and we know the size. Size should be 2.5 inch diameter. Next, it needs to be centered on this edge, so I'll use the centerline tool for construction geometry, hover over this edge to find the midpoint, and then drag a line to establish a vertical relationship between the center point of the circle and the midpoint of the edge. Next is just identifying how high above the top of the plate this is, and this can be done in a number of ways. I'll click first on the edge representing the top of the plate, and then I'll hold down Shift and get the closest dimension to the bottom tangent. Click on that circle, place the dimension, 0.75. Okay, and now I want to extrude 1 inch in one direction, and in direction 2, I'm going to create a 2-inch extrusion in this direction. So now you see what I've created is a second body within the same part that doesn't touch the original body. This kind of thing is definitely legal in SOLIDWORKS. Multi-body modeling is an established method that you can use, but in the course of finishing the model, we're going to join this up to the rest of the part. So let's go ahead and create another sketch on this face. Draw a line, again, that goes from the center to the midpoint. Turn on mirroring. There is a tool, which I don't have shown on my toolbar right now. So let's go to Tools, Customize, Commands, Sketch. And I want this dynamic mirror. Just grab it and drag it down here. It shows up on my flyout. So I'm going to turn that on. And notice as soon as I turn it on, I get hatch marks on the construction line. So if I draw a line that goes tangent from here on down, SOLIDWORKS draws the corresponding line on the other side. And now I'm going to turn off the dynamic mirror. So from here, let's continue on with a tangent arc to enclose the top of the sketch and a line to enclose the bottom of the sketch. I'll drag this point to the end point of this edge, and we've got something that's not quite right here. So I notice that the center point of this arc is not on the center point of the circle. Okay, we've got a couple of things wrong. So I'll select the arc and then Control select the circle, and we'll make these co-radial. Co-radial is the mixture of concentric and equal radius. So we'll click on that. And then I didn't get this relationship I thought I got here. We'll drag it over. And we're still not getting it. So let's make it manually. Click on the endpoint of the sketch and then Control click this point on the model and make them coincident. Now if we look at this sketch in 3D and then extrude it, I want it to go the other way, and I only need a 1/2 inch. All right. The next feature that I need is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'll walk you through it. The main thing that we're looking at here is a rib that goes along this edge and joins between this support for the circular boss and the side of this circular boss. If I go back to visit the other model to see what it looked like, I'll just go to File, Linkage to, and you see some of the dimensions from this part were slightly different, but we've still got the spirit of the part working. So this is the rib that we're talking about creating, this area right here. So I'll flip back to the other model with Control Tab, and let's make this rib. I'll open up a sketch on this face, and the first thing I want to do is, rather than creating new sketch entities, I just want to use existing edges to create the new sketch. So I'm going to select these three and use the Convert Entities tool. Now, Convert Entities, it works best if you pre-select the edges, such as I did right here. But it also works best if this push pin is not pushed in. So by using pre-select and then touching the tool, let's do that again. I'll drag a window, delete those three sketch entities. And with the push pin deselected, now I'm control selecting these three edges and then hit the Convert Entities. Notice the Convert Entities dialog didn't even come up. If I press Convert Entities without anything selected, then I get the dialog. So this is a tool that has confused some people as how to use it most effectively. And I believe using the pre-select with the push pin deselected is the best way to go. Okay, now we've got these three sketch lines, or the two lines and an arc. The reason why we have this one is to create a little corner up here, because this line on its own would not create the corner properly. Let's create an extrude. An extrude from an open sketch like this will create a thin feature. The thickness of this thin feature, I want to be 0.5. And the height, I'll make that 1 inch. Now see what it's going to do is it will merge into the rest of the body. And this in particular is the area that we are concerned most about. So click the green check. Okay. So now we've got the rib. Later on, we'll use some fillets in these areas, round out the part a little bit. But we've got some more features to add first. And one of the most important features is the cutout with the keyway. So let's open a sketch on the front face of this boss. Interesting that it flipped upside down like that for me. With the circle tool, hold your cursor momentarily over the circular perimeter of the circle and then click and drag. If you want to dimension a diameter for this hole, then just use the dimension tool and click on the circle itself. If you want to dimension a thickness for this wall, then hold down the Shift key, click the circle, and then click on the outer edge of the boss and place the dimension. Now, I want to create a keyway in the same step. So I'm going to create a corner rectangle. Let's zoom in here to do this. And I'll use a center line to go from the center of the circle to the midpoint of this line. Create a vertical relationship to make sure that's centered. And then I'll use trim entities to trim out the sections that I just don't need. Now I can put a dimension on the width of the keyway and the depth of the keyway. And from here, make a cut that goes through all. Now with that cut created on one boss, I want to create it also on the other boss. So what I'm going to do is hold down the Control key, grab the inside of the cut, and drag it onto the face of the other boss. SOLIDWORKS asks me, while it's copying this feature, what do I want it to do with the relationships that are being copied? Do I want to delete them or dangle them? Well, deleting them is the easy thing to do, so I'm going to dangle them to show you how to handle this sort of situation. When I say dangle, SOLIDWORKS will show me an error. And so I'll say, I don't want to see this again, and let's keep going. So SOLIDWORKS shows the error on the sketch in the feature manager. If we edit the sketch, we see some of these items are brown. So I'll click on one of the brown entities, in this case the center, and notice it turns red. This red handle I can grab and reattach to the origin. Now, you may have origins turned off. And in this case, my origins are turned off. So let me turn that back on. Hit Control-8 to go normal to the view. Zoom in somewhat so I can get a better look at this. Click on that center. Drag it again over where it needs to go. And it pops into place.